هاي everyone. مكملين تاني على داكشي اللي بادين عليه في الشرح ديال الكتاب ديال كيوزاكي. اليوم تاني حلقه على داكشي اللي بدينا الحلقه اللي فاتت. دابا غادي نقرا وكيف ما تعودتو غادي نقرا بجد باش بنادم يشوف النطق الامريكي، وغادي نشرحوه بلغتنا بالدارجه ديالنا. علاش؟ باش نشاركوا واحد الافكار ديال واحد الكتاب ديال واحد خونا راه في شكل. المهم تقول الكاتب: The milk cartons were filled with the plasters of Paris. White powder was everywhere. In my haste في الزربه ديالي haste، وديما واحد المثل تقول great haste makes a great waste. الزربه بزاف تتخلق المشاكل وتتخلق الخسارات بزاف. I had knocked the bag over and the entire area looked like it had been hit by a snowstorm. The milk carton were the outer containers for plasters of Paris mold. My dad and his friend watched were carefully poured the molten lid through a small hole in the top of the plasters of Paris cup. Careful, my dad said. I nodded without looking up. Finally, once the pouring was through, I put the steel pot down and I smiled at my dad. What are you boys doing? He asked with a cautious smile. We're doing what you told me to do. We're going to be rich, I said. Yeah. Yep, said Mike, grinning and nodding his head. We're partners. And what is in those plasters molds? My dad asked. خويا بدا القبص plasters mold عقلوا عليه. What? I said. This should be a good batch. With a small hammer, I tapped at the seal that divided the cup in half. Cautiously, I pulled up the top half of the plaster mold and I let the nickel fall out. Oh no, my dad exclaimed. You are casting nickels out of it. That's right, Mike said. We are doing as you told us to do. We are making money. My dad's friend turned and burst into laughter, yeah. طردك بالضحك. لما تقول شي واحد طردك بالضحك بالانجليزي تقول لي burst into laughter. طردك بالضحك. ولا طردك بالبكاء turns in cry. My dad smiled and shook his head. وخلخل راسه. Along with a fire and a box of spent toothpaste tubes. In front of him were two little boys covered with white dust, smiling from ear to ear. تضحك من لودن لودن. He asked us to put everything down and sit with him on the front step of our house. With a smile, he gently explained what the word counterfeiting meant. اشنا هو داك التزوير ولا شي حاجه ديال ضرب شي ماركه المعنى ديالها. Our dream were dashed. You mean this is illegal? Asked Mike in a quavering voice. Let them go, my dad's friend said. They might be developing a natural talent. My dad glared at him. Yes, it's illegal. My dad said gently, but you boys have shown great creativity and original thought. Keep going, I'm really proud of you. Wow. Yeah, وليدي. Disappointed, Mike, and I sat in a silence for about 20 minutes. Before we began cleaning up our mess, the business was over and opening day, sweeping the powder up, and I looked at Mike and I said, I guess Jimmy and his friend are right. We are poor. My father was just leaving us as I said that. Boys, he said, you are only poor if you give up. قال لي ديما غتبقاو فقراء إلا استسلمتوا. The most important thing is that you did something most people only took and dream of getting rich. You have done something. I'm very proud of the two of you. I will say it again. Keep going. Don't quit. قال لي ديما كملوا وما تخرجوش، ما تستسلموش ما تهربوش من هذا الشيء. Mike and I stood there in silence. They were nice words, but we still did not know what to do. Somehow come, you are not rich, Dad. I ask because I choose to be a school teacher. School teachers really don't think about being rich. قال لي المعلمين ديال المدرسة راه ما تيفكروش باش يوليو أغنياء. قال لي think about being rich أن يكونوا أغنياء. We just like to teach. I wish I could help you, but I really don't know how to make money. قال لي أنا تنقرب باش نعيشكم وكذا كذا ونتخلص، ولكن أنا ما تنعرفش كيفاش نجبد الفلوس. How to make money. Mike and I turned and continued our cleanup. I know, said my dad, if you boys wanna learn how to be rich, don't ask me. Talk to your dad, Mike. My dad. Ask Mike with a scrunched up face. Yeah, you are dead. Repeated my dad with a smile. You're dead, and I have the smile bankers and he raised about your father. He's told me several times that your father is brilliant when it comes to making money. My dad Mike asked again in disbelief. Then how come we don't have a nice car and a nice house like the rich kids at school? A nice car and a nice house don't necessarily mean you are rich or you know how to make money. My dad replied. James' dad worked for the sugar plantation. He's not much different from me. He works for a company and I work for the government. The company buys the car for him. The sugar company is in financial trouble. And Jimmy's dad may soon have nothing. Your dad is different, Mike. He seems to be building an empire. And I suspect in a few years he will be a very rich man. With that, Mike and I got excited again. With a new vigor, we began cleaning up the mess caused by our now defunct first business. As we were cleaning, we made the plans for how and when we talked to Mike's dad. The problem was that Mike's dad worked long hours and often did not come home until late. His father owned warehouses, a construction company, a chain of stores, and a 3 restaurants. It was the restaurants that kept him out late. هنا سمحوا لي لا طولت في القرايه ديالي. ديما هاد الجوج جا عنده باه وكذا، شافو داير ديك الحاله، قال لي واش هادشي هذا داير الدخان وهداك الشيء وكذا وكذا، هما يستسلموا. ولكن قال لي شوف، راه هادي هي الافكار اللي غتخليك غني وغتولي غني. ما تستسلمش وامن بالفكره ديالك، ولا خسرتي طلع ولا بالاخر عنده فكر ديال واحد انسان اجير عادي، معلم، استاذ، طبيب، وما
قال لي ما تستسلموش.
والملياردير قال لي شي هذا المشروع هذا الا استسلمتوا ما غتوليوش اغنياء. ديما بقاو حارقوك وفي نفس الافكار وما تستسلموش. والاب الفقير عادي كذا صافي، عادي نورمال، تجبد لي الفلوس تنوض عليه النحل. هذا هو الخلاصه. وشكرا على الاستماع ديالكم.